वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्। सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धय ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धरता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी। सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः। समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयो शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः। तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेता स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः। ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता भगवान के मुखार बिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है, और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है, वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है। इस उपदेश को सृष्टि के आरंभ से ही सुनाया गया था। सबसे पहले इस उपदेश को सुनने वाले सूर्य नारायण थे, फिर मनु महाराज हुए, फिर इक्ष्वाकु महाराज हुए। इस प्रकार परंपरा से चलता हुआ ये गीता ज्ञान द्वापर युग में कई लाख वर्षों के बाद फिर से भगवान कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को सुनाया था।
सुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमजलम् सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भवतीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं namami Satgurum tam namami Sweetness which I do seek. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. In the thought by my love brought, in the thought by my I taste thy name, so sweet, so sweet. Devotee knows how sweet you are. Devotee knows how sweet you are. He knows whom you let know. He knows whom you let know. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. You can now gently and slowly open your eyes and know that you are a unique and beautiful spiritual being of pure consciousness, and all you have to do is to shine brightly and you'll be helping the world and the universe. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev Maharaj, Jai Geeta Mata. Stay blessed.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for being with us tonight. I would now like to hand over the session to Guru Bhai Joshi ji. Joshi ji, unmute yourself, please. Over to you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev to all of you. It always somehow energized me as well as all of you when we spend 1 hour discussing, thinking, gathering together with Gita devotees who are all very well versed in Bhagavad Gita and its miraculous effects on all of us. So today, Narendra Kapoorji will be missing because of his very active in social activities, and it happens to be Republic Day, so he must be very busy, very active in New York, mostly talking about Bhagavad Gita. So today I will take a few minutes and request Dr. Prasadji to take a few extra minutes to cover the issue. And Dr. Prasadji is covering a very, very important, very deep meaning of karma, karma, and akarma, karma. So we will be waiting for his diagram that he wanted to discuss. So for now, let me begin with what I have. I think I am goofed up here. Give me a second. I'm not was getting my.
We can see your screen.
You
Your screen
can?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me start with my regular prayers. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Om Om Om. I have been always talking about verse 16 of second chapter. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata. Ubiyo repitastron swa satput yoswa swadarshiti. The unreal has no existence and real never ceases to be. The reality of both has thus been perceived by the seers of truth. And friends, I'll take the screen out now. Can you see that the screen is out or am I still there?
Screen is still there. It is
Okay,
still there.
now this is what I want. Okay. All right. So, as all of you know that I've been through some very interesting things in my life. And after coming out of this problem, the tremendous strength that I got from Mother Geeta is so clear to me now. I was very okay before the event happened on November 11th. Very okay. I worked very, very hard in the yard, very refreshed, came back, went upstairs and suddenly had some heaviness in the chest. And my dear friends, what journey I had gives me this verse more power. Nasaso Vikise power. In less than 5 minutes, I was in ER with a well-qualified cardiologist, and I was aware what was happening until I saw my son, who is a doctor. His face was down, and that told me that something is wrong with me, but I didn't feel much. When I was taken to cath lab, I knew that I was in the cath lab. After everything was done, the cardiologist told me, Mr. Joshi, you are very sick, and I'm going to put you in intensive care. And he kept me there for 7 days. Somehow, with the blessing of Bhagavad Gita, I did not feel anything scared, fearful. And I came home, and dear friends, I feel as good as I used to feel before. But I have to follow through what physicians, doctors tell me to do. I'm ready to go to India, which I go every year for Gita conference to Gita Dham. But this time, the treatment that has been started is preventing me to go to India. I'll miss it, but sometimes man proposes, God disposes. I'm taking God's decision. Coming back to Bhagavad Gita. We all seek, whether it is Krishna Bhakt, Ram Bhakt, Buddhist, Islamist, Jainism, anybody, all like to go to their centers to feel happy, to feel calm, to feel good. And that's what I think we do too. Read Bhagavad Gita, take the grace of Guru, and feel good. But we know that goodness lasts some time, and we again get lost in the Maya. The art of living in this Mayavi sansar and art and wisdom to understand that we are parts of Brahman can only make us happy for all the times. And it comes to my mind, Mamai Vanso Jeev Loke. We are all divine and his essence, his parts. If we can have a feeling, which we can have, that we are his part, and then comes to our Atma, our soul. Soul is the integral part of the entire Brahman. And once we know that and study Bhagavad Gita, it gets clearer and clearer. And moment that it starts happening, you start getting calm and calm and calm. I was listening to one enlightenment master. He was telling the secrets to be happy all the times, 24/7. To learn, accept, agree, and live with it. हम भगवान के हैं और भगवान हमारे हैं. We belong to the God and the God belongs to us all the time. And that saying is different than feeling. After what I got through, dear friend, Dr. Prasad knows that everyone tells me afterwards that Joshi, you are lucky. A 15-minute delay, people would have been talking about me today, how I was, what did I do. But I came back. And from that point, I have been thinking that has happened. And I have to relive with a reminder that some more time has been given to me by Sri Krishna and Gurudev, and get deeper into meditation, that this time, whatever is left, I will do mostly Maun, sadhana, think about Gurudev, think about Bhagavad Gita and its verses. Dear friends, know very clearly, after entire sermon of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna asked Arjuna, have you listened to me dedicatedly, seriously, carefully? Then final verse of Arjuna was, all we know, nafso moha smritir labdha svaspasādān mayātata sthitosmi gata sandeha karishe vachanam tava. Nafso moha means the attachment to this Maya, including Sharir, that Mo is not. He was made ready to fight the righteous war. Smriti Rabda, I have regained myself, my memory. With the grace of you, Lord, Krishna, Karishe Vachanam Tava. I will do thy bidding, I will do what you have been telling me. And the lucky Sanjay, who was watching everything, he was kind of hypnotized with happiness. Here he stands on his screen. And even though he was narrating it to the blind King Yudhishthira, without any fear, he says, King, you wanted me to tell what is happening between my son and the son of those Pandavas. Let me tell you. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. Where there is a Krishna, and the Partho Dhanurdhara which has heard the knowledge and wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutir Dua Netir Matir Mama. All of us know what it means. Once we become Arjun of Sri Krishna, who has heard him, got blessed by him, then there is a victory in this life. The victory are all around. Sound policy, there's niti, no doubt about it. So the art of living successfully, happily in this world, while maintaining मैं भगवान का हूँ, भगवान मेरे हैं. Never disassociate yourself without the presence of divine Lord that you really are. And friends, think about it. We all do exercise, we all watch our food for the Sharir. And we all know when that essence of God, that prana, leaves this body, even though how beautiful this body can be, how healthy this body can be, it's worse than junk. They want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. So learn to love that thing. Who am I? I am the real Atma, which is the integral part of the Brahman, and we must communicate each other, and that reminds me again, Sarvasya Chaham Harisanniviso, Matta Smatir Jnanam Aponam Cha, Vedaisya Sarvairahameva Vedyo Vedanta Kalve Davideva Chaham. If you have invoked and felt the presence of Sarvasya Chaham Harisanniviso, the one who is sitting in the heart, and if you have recognized it, honored it, then all the Vedas knowledge, all the Upanishads knowledge will start oozing out of you by itself. Something is happening in India lately. Bhageshwar, Baba Bhageshwar Maharaj, who is the disciple of Swami Rampadracharya, who is blind, who has written 200 books. And he knows Vedas, Ramcharitmanas, Hanuman Chalisa by heart. He's blind, and know it. So there is definitely something in your heart. And if that invocation in your heart is realized, and I think it is being realized in all of us with the grace of Gurudev and Krishna, we will know everything that needs to be known before we decide at our will to part with this asat sansar. to know the truth which will keep you happy for always, 24/7, and deal and learn to live with asset, knowing that you are not supposed to be, you are not going to be attracted to it all the time. A beautiful balance between Sat and Asat is the art that Arjuna is living or going to be living. So, since Kapoor Sahib was not there, I shared my truthful experience after November. I'm much calm now, much happier now, much confident now, and pray Sri Krishna and Gurudev help me use my rest of the time the best that it has been or it can be as the Arjuna. And I'm seeking blessings from all of you, prayers from all of you to help me and help yourself to live like Arjuna. With that, I will give rest to my speech and request Dr. Prasadji to please take few extra minutes because you have more time. We're eager to listen to you. And thank you for listening to me as Samples. I was not ready, but for Gurudev, for Bhagavad Gita, we can talk and talk and talk. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Thank you very much, Joshi ji. Your experiences have been so enchanting and taking you to the real realm of Brahma is the only thing left, and you are already on that path. May God help us all. Thank you very much. Vansi vibhushita karan navnir dabhat pitambara darunavimba phaladharostat Purnendu sundara mukha Arvinda netra Krishnat param kimapi tattvamaham na jane Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Well, I am still stuck with the verse 18 of chapter 4. You know, several efforts were made to explain the concept behind that statement which Bhagwan Sri Krishna made about seeing inaction in action and action in inaction has so far not been successful. Well, let me give another go. The meaning is very simple of this verse. Bhagavan says, whosoever recognizes or realizes, understands inaction in action and action in action is sa buddhiman manushesu sa yuktaha krishna karmakrit. He is wise among men. He is yukta, is that united. So you see, we are not talking about individual who is just a simple sadhaka. No. If somebody is able to recognize this, then he is at the highest level. He is yukta, he is Brahma Jnani, he is united with Brahma. So you see, it is not an easy thing to see action in inaction or action in action. That is the reason why we are somehow finding it a bit difficult to realize. But let me go through another process, which I thought I will take the very basic, very fundamental principles behind the relationship between the object, the sense organ, the mind, and the consciousness. So there is a relationship between the senses to which we interact. We interact through our sense organs. And in this process, there is always involvement of mind. If mind is not involved, none of these actions will have any effect whatsoever. But this mind is also jada. It is also inert. It is part of the body, destructible part. It hasn't got its power. So it needs power to come from consciousness. So this chain has to be understood all the time when we perform action. Now let us see. When we have this chain, that is object, the sense, the mind, and consciousness. Now see, what Bhagwan is saying, you see in action, that is, karma mein akarm ko dekho. Now, where the karma is going on, normally the activity is going on in our senses, whether it is the कर्मेंद्रिया और ज्ञानेंद्रिया. हमारी इंद्रियां ये हमेशा करती रहती हैं activities, and mind is not disturbed. That is the status when we're talking about karma mein akarma. Now, when the senses are active and mind is not disturbed, that is the status one should realize. One should have the status that let activity going on in the senses and the object, but mind remains steady. Now, how this can be accomplished? There are three ways we talked about earlier also, but let me repeat. How can the mind remain undisturbed and activity is taking place? One way is to not allow the senses to get in contact with the object. There is a disconnection between the senses and the object. As we know, the Yada Sangarte Chayam Kurmunga Niv Sarasa, as tortoise withdraws. So senses are withdrawn, it doesn't get contact with the objects. That's very good. So mind remains unaffected. Now, if the object gets in connection with the senses, but here there is a block. So you do not allow the senses to disturb the mind. Prajahate jada kaman sarban parth manogatan. So the mind is not allowed to be disturbed by senses. There are several mechanisms are there, which we have discussed and can again discuss. But that is the mechanism how the senses are active, yet the mind is undisturbed. The highest level is where the mind is in consciousness all the time. The mind is totally absorbed in consciousness. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tattva. That when Brahmanyadhaya karma, all the mind is established in Brahma, how can there be a disturbance? So these are the three mechanisms through which a sadhaka can keep the mind at the state of undisturbance and let the senses go on acting. Indriya sindhyasayarthe. Let Indriya be for in the sense objects. Let that go on working. So that is in action, in action. What about action in inaction? Here it is a different level. Here there is no activity in senses. Senses are not active. You are lying in the bed. So all your the karmendriya, gyanendriya, all are still. But mind can remain active. Mind is in the state of activity. I gave example. For example, you play badminton every day, more or less. You have in the back of the courtyard, you have a badminton set, and you play with the neighbors, the neighborhood boys come and you play with them. You're coming from the outside, you come from the office, you play badminton, and you are good, so good that everybody gets defeated, and you happy. Somebody came the other day and you lost very badly. Okay, fine. That senses were involved there. You were running about up and down here playing game. So there is a lot of activity going on involving the senses. Now, came in the evening after your dinner, you lie on the bed. You're lying in the bed, but your mind is whirling because the fellow who was this new fellow came and has defeated you. So that your senses are not active, but mind is in active, full activity. That's fine. It happens, everybody. So many things we keep on thinking. The question here is, when the mind is active, who is looking at that? Who is observing that your mind is active? Who is the observer of the activity in your mind? That is Bhagwan is saying here, the akarma mein karam ko dekho. While senses are not active, your mind is in a state of activity, but who is thinking? Who is the one who is actively, who is there observing the activity going on in your mind? This is the state of action, in inaction, to be seen. Jo dekhta hai, he has to reach at that level that he stands apart from his body. He is an observer outside the body and observes. He is the person who has to realize the awareness. We talked about this state of awareness. So what is going on in the mind? One has to reach that level of awareness to be able to be observing the activity going on in the mind. This is what is called activity in the mind, behold by rise in the level of understanding, level of consciousness. You are able to see that apart from the body. This is the status of an individual who is Tattva Jnani, who has really realized Brahma, who has realized the consciousness, and that is the one who is able to observe the activity going on in the mind, and one can get advice, one can get understand. You see, number of times you will find that suddenly you are thinking about something and you get click, some answer comes in to you, as if somebody has given you the answer to your problem. I have my personal experience, but maybe I share it today. I was president of Geeta Dham Trust. Number of problems used to come and happen, and I was there. I had to resolve the issue. There was one big problem came in when we properly advertised, got the application, went for the principal of the Gurukul Vidyalaya at Geeta Dham. We wanted to appoint a principal. And we got that through proper going through the process. Through interview, he was appointed. He was a good principal, but he had certain things going on, which it was quite not good for the institution. So we decided to let him go. But he was such a dynamic fellow, he will fight it out. So I was in deep trouble how to get rid of him. And I had no clue how to do it. But somehow or other, I thought I must go. I went to Dham, and I was in the room where Joshiji normally used to live there when he used to go. And Prakashji was there in the next room. Now, it so happened that in the morning at 9 a.m., there was a meeting to be held to take a decision about that with Prakashji and others were there. After I took my bath, as soon as I crossed that bathroom and came out from there, suddenly I was told in a way, I thought Maharaji has blessed me. Maharaji has given me certain instruction. And I tell you, I burst out. I started to cry. The way I started to cry, Prakash Purohitji came running. What happened? Why are you crying? I said, you don't know what has happened. Something has happened and this is going to solve the problem. I tell you, and that did resolve the problem. What I'm trying to, and this kind of experience, I'm sure most of you would have had it, who had got it. So this kind of seeing the activity of your mind going on, if you are able to raise your awareness level and get it yourself, which people like Ramana Maharshi and others, all other Maharshis, they get it. So that is the status of a person who is able to see action in inaction in such a way that he has raised a level of awareness and realized it. So this is the state of individual who is Brahma Jnani. From now on, the philosophy has been established, and now Bhagavan is saying to Arjuna, look, what happens to this person? When this person who has realized, who is Brahma Jnani, who is Jivan Mukta, how does he live after getting that enlightenment? That is given in verses 19 to 23. In these 5 verses, Bhagavan goes on in great detail, stating as to the activities this person who has got enlightenment, what he behaves. Now in verse 19, let me take one verse today, and then we'll go to another verse next week. In verse 19, what he says, Yasya sarve samarambha kam sankalpa varjitah jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddha. He says, Yasya sarve samarambha. This man, this person who is considered to be enlightened, he does not give up work. He keeps on undertaking. He goes on actively performing action. But what happens? His actions are kam sankalp varjitah, free from desire for which one works. Actions are burned by the fire of wisdom. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam. His actions are burned by the fire of wisdom. And to him, tamahu buddhaha panditaha. Tam ahu, even buddhaha, call him as a pandita. So, what are the things in this? There are 4 components to be learned in this verse. First thing, that such a person has all the activities going on. He is free from kama sankalpa. I will explain in that. Has actions burned by the fire of wisdom, has to be explained. And to such a person, even the wise men call pandita. ऐसे पुरुष को ज्ञानी जन भी पंडित कहते हैं. So these are the 4 points to be considered in this verse. Let us take one of them. Should I continue? Okay, let us take once. Yasya sarve samarambha. That means he has undertakings. That is, he engages in karma, but with kama sankalpa varjita, means devoid of kama sankalpa, which I will explain later on. What he is doing? He is performing actions as per scriptural injunctions. Whatever Shastra says, he performs that action. Tasmat Shastram pramanam te karya vyavasthitau. This is given in verse 24, chapter 16. Tasmat Shastram pramanam te karya vyavasthitau. What is to be done? What is not to be done? According to the Shastras, that is to be should be done. So that is the one this person does, who has enlightened. He is not performing action which are not prescribed by the Shastras. Also, when he takes into consideration equanimity, that is sama. Samaha satrau cha mitre cha tatha mana pumanayo sitosna sukha dukkhesu samaha sangha vivarjitah. All his actions are sama, equanimity. There is no unequanimity in his behavior, in his actions. Now, what this person can do or does. Suppose he was a teacher before he got enlightenment. If he was a teacher and suddenly, for no crime committed by him, by mistake, he is put behind the bar for 10 years. Now he has no choice because he has been put behind the bar, he goes there. And there he starts reading Bhagavad Gita. And over a period of 10 years, he got enlightenment by the grace of his Guru or Bhagavan, whatever. When he comes back, will he perform the teacher's job or not? Up to him. But if he performs teacher's job, he can do so provided he follows what he has learned in his prison, that he should be following Shastras and he should be performing for equanimity. That if he does, then still he can continue his usual job. That's one. Or he may decide to leave the job and engage in the welfare activities of the humanity. Loka Sangraha. He can engage himself in Loka Sangraha. Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, Shiva Jnani Jiva Seva. Once you have got enlightened, you perform seva for Janta Janardhan. So out of love, devotion, he sees divine manifestation everywhere. He is there to serve people, to satisfy hunger of others, to relieve pain of others. That is his engagement in life. Or he can withdraw completely in such a way that he leads a life of a samadhisthasya. Arjuna asked question to Bhagavan, Sthita pragyasya ka bhasa samadhisthasya kesava. If somebody is in the state of samadhi, how does he behave? And that we have learned in chapter 2. As Swami Ramana Maharshi, Totapuri Maharaj, they were the people who were in the state of samadhi after a time, and they were not at much active in Loka Sangraha or public places, public activity. So that can be done. Once one is enlightened, he can still remain engaged in the activity of the world. He can continue with the usual activity, or he can perform lok sangrah activity. If not, he can withdraw completely and take samadhi and be there. We will take up Kam Sankalpa Varjita next time. Peterji is indicating that I should stop. I think I will stop here. I will take this next week. Thank you very much, everybody. Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Ji Joshi ji, concluding remarks. Jai Shri
Okay,
Krishna.
thank you very, very much, Dr. Prasad. It's a very difficult topic. You are making it very simple. I hope devotees are getting there. Karma, karma, and akarma, karma. And thank you very much. It's a very, very tough subject I used to say again and again, and you are doing a great help to us. Thank you so much. We'll see you again on Sunday morning. And all the best, and Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Remember, we are integral parts of the Brahman. Mama Ivanshuji will okay. Think about it, keep practicing. It will click. It will click. No question. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri
Jai
Krishna.
Gurudev.